How's everybody doing? Welcome into Tuned Into NoCo. I'm Ashlee, and today I got two great individuals on the show. We have the Fort Collins Lions Club president, Nancy Walther, here, as well as the chairman of the board of directors of Ensight, Doug Hutchinson. To start off, Nancy, you guys recently celebrated your 100th birthday a couple years ago, Fort Collins Lions Club, which is incredible. Do you mind telling our listeners what the club is all about?
Well, basically, we are a service organization. We're actually one of the largest service organizations in the world. And our motto is we serve. And we really didn't celebrate our 100 years in anything big because we were impacted by COVID.
Right. I was wondering that. It's 2020.
So we had all kind of plans. I was chairman of the committee to do all this, and we never got to do anything. So actually something coming up on July 30th is going to be our sort of big celebration, which is a pancake breakfast at the Murphy Center in Fort Collins. But basically we serve. So what we do is all of our money is earned through bingo. We have two sessions, Loveland Bingo Planet Tuesday nights and then Friday during the day. And 100% of our profits have to be spent within a year in the community. So usually it's through grants that we give nonprofits. They'll apply for a grant. The food bank, Family Housing Network, different places like that, and they apply for a grant, and we spend the money that way. And we put on pancake breakfast, but of course that's been on hold, the past couple of years. So we're doing a big one July 30th, which will be free to the people that attend at the Murphy Center.
Perfect.
Homeward Alliance. And then also we'll put them on, like September 10th is one for healing warriors, and they will charge money to the people who attend that, and that's going to be their fundraiser.
Okay.
So normally we provide everything free, and then if a group wants to charge money for attendance to have breakfast, then they would do that, and then they would keep that money, but we don't collect any money for that. So it all comes out of our profits. Out of our budget, I guess you would say.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty big. So.
Yeah. And you said you give 100% of your profits to?
I think the timeline, it has to be spent within 1 year.
Right. Within a year. Okay.
Within 1 year. So in the past, we were earning up to, let's say, $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
But with COVID, it's been much less.
Okay.
And so we just had a budget meeting not too long ago. We reduced our budget quite a bit just to make sure we would cover it, because bingo's picked up a lot, but still it's...
Gotcha.
Yeah, people are still sort of hesitant about coming out, I guess. But
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are partnering with Ensight. Doug, do you mind talking about what Ensight is and your partnership with the Lions Club?
Okay, well, Lions is focused on being the Knights of the Blind. In 1925 at a Lions convention, Helen Keller gave a speech through her hands and so on. She's deaf and blind. And she challenged Lions to become the Knights of the Blind and help people with low vision problems. Fort Collins Lions Club, coming up 22 years ago, formed a nonprofit, low vision nonprofit called Ensight, ENSIGHT, that was aimed at helping people with low vision problems. The concept is that Ensight was formed so that when somebody with a low vision problem has seen the doctors and the doctors say, that's all we can do for you, now you have to live with what we couldn't cure, that's where Ensight steps in.
Okay.
Our motto is empowering independence. The Ensight helps with specialists, and it helps with hardware and software to help people live with their low vision problems. And we have main offices in Fort Collins. We have offices in Denver, big offices in Greeley, and we serve the rest of the state of Colorado. We're the only nationally accredited low vision nonprofit in the state of Colorado. And
really?
In Colorado, there is a real challenge there. In the state of Colorado, there's about 355,000 people that have over 18 that have low vision problems and need help, and only 5 to 10% of them ever really get any services. So we meet a big need. So Ensight is there to help empower independence, help you live with your low vision problem. And I have wet macular degeneration, and I've been a patient, and they have helped me. I've been chairman of the board now for coming up 10 years, for God's sake. So anyhow, that's about Ensight. Great organization, great services, badly needed.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that many people suffered from low vision in Colorado. That's really interesting. You also mentioned, we were talking earlier before the interview, that you've raised, $50,000 through Lions Club for Ensight?
The Ensight budget is about $600,000 a year, and that's mostly provided by grants and Medicaid, Medicare fees. And the Lions Club, as Nancy was talking about, when we got away from selling door-to-door rooms and light bulbs, and we went to bingo. I think in the history of that, this small club has raised through bingo like around $1.5 million.
Wow.
Which is remarkable. It's over several years, of course. But anyhow, and that money, as Nancy pointed out, the way we raise it as a nonprofit, we have to reinvest it in the community within a year. So that's
for sure.
And the Lions Club is quite supportive of Ensight. Ensight is a standalone low vision nonprofit. It's not actually directly part of the Lions Club, but Lions is involved with it and very supportive.
Wow. Nancy, so with the Lions Club, obviously with all these fundraisers, you guys have been super busy. You've been supporting Marshall Fire victims, refugee Ukrainian children, and Ensight. So do you have any events coming up where people can join in?
Our biggest activity, and actually it's our biggest undertaking in many years, is to do this free pancake breakfast, I said, on July 30th at Homeward Alliance Murphy Center, which is at 242 Conifer. And we also are preparing, and we did send out some donation letters requesting some supplies to prepare 200 what we're calling care kits, which would be basically toiletries to give out to the clients that attend the breakfast.
Oh, great.
And we're still in the process of collecting donations, and I'll be shopping Wednesday next week. I'll be buying, so we'll make up 200 kits Friday during bingo. I'm going to have a few people come help us.
Yes.
But that's going to be the biggest thing that we're doing. And then we actually have a brand new partnership with the Vet Center, which is a counseling center in Fort Collins. And we're going to actually provide refreshments it's the Vietnam Veteran Group that meets on Wednesdays.
That's great.
Excuse me. And we're going to provide refreshments for them. And they've requested, not for this group particularly, but that their need for their younger veterans, I guess you would say, is groceries. So we're going to provide gift cards to the grocery stores or Walmart kind of thing for them. So that's going to be an ongoing project. So that's brand new. But we also work with the schools.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, because I'm very proud of this, the poster contest is middle school, and that's in, I believe, October.
Okay.
And the first place winner for us won first place in district, but did not win in state.
Okay.
But we had a big ceremony for her, actually, and gave her, district gave her a $100 check. And then our speech contest, which is for the high school, that's in April or March, April. And our first place winner won first place at district, and then he went on to state. I believe he won second place. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
But that program was sort of on hold the last couple of years too. So next year we hope to get a few more schools involved.
Great.
Besides, speech always gets about 3 high schools, but the middle schools not. So we're hoping to build that up bigger. But that's something that is ongoing. And we work with the Salvation Army a lot. But actually, that's where we meet.
Okay.
We meet twice a month.
Yeah.
The second and the fourth Thursdays at the Salvation Army. That's a partnership we've had for years.
Yeah.
But we're meeting there now, and they're letting us do a lot of things there. But we also do the bell ringing at Christmas. We take one day, and we do that, and we provide, there's a toiletry drive that they have.
Yeah.
And then also, actually we do a Wellington sock drive as well, back in around Christmas time is that. And then at our Christmas party, to attend our Christmas party, we have to bring food, a can of food, and then also a toy. An unwrapped toy. So, so anyway, so that's another partnership that we have going on. So,
and speaking of like all these events, I'm sure you guys could use help. If there's a listener who'd like to volunteer or donate or just get involved, like what should they know?
They could contact the Fort Collins Lions Club website, and then usually the treasurer usually sends me the notice that I got a message.
Okay.
And then I'll we just actually got one this week, actually, and it was a wife trying to get help for her invalid husband or disabled husband with eyeglasses. So I emailed her back, and I told her the phone number to call, and then we would take it there. I said, but you have to be a Fort Collins or Wellington or LaPorte resident.
Okay.
And if not, I can give you other phone numbers.
Yeah.
But if they're interested, have them contact the website. There's a phone number, and then they leave a voicemail, and then I get that sent to me usually.
Perfect. And that's FortCollinsLionsClub.org?
I believe it is, yes.
Great. Awesome. And then, Doug, question for you. So if someone listening isn't seeing very well, how can they contact Ensight?
Okay, Ensight has a great website. There's with videos and good explanations of what's available. and it's at Ensight, ensight.org. And Fort Collins location is at College and Stewart on the main line there. It was before we got it, it was one of the first legal marijuana medical facilities in Fort Collins. So it's a very nice, secure facility. But Ensight website is probably the best way to do it.
And can people donate to Ensight as well?
Absolutely. We live a lot of our high percentage of our budget is in donations, and the website has the ability to donate, and the mailing address is there as well. So
great. Awesome. And Nancy, you have that breakfast coming up July 30th. If somebody would like to attend that, should they go to the website as well?
They could. Basically, it's sort of not open. I don't want to say it's not open to the public because we're gearing toward a certain population. Gotcha. The address itself sort of signifies that, 242 Conifer Street, down north of town. And but if somebody wants to come by, they're welcome to do that. If they can pay, we might ask for a donation. Yeah. But otherwise, we're doing the breakfast free.
Okay.
But yes, and the Healing Warriors, which is not completely planned out yet, but that'll be at the Drake Center, and that's definitely open to the public.
Great. And then you guys have bingo nights, and that happens the first Wednesday of every month?
Actually, the first Wednesday of the month is something brand new. We started last month.
Oh, okay.
And we had 150 people attend, and it was awesome. But it was also a must-go night, so we're not really sure why. But so that's the first Wednesday of the month, but it's every Tuesday.
Okay.
Game starts at 7, but we open the doors at 5.
Okay.
And then on Fridays, the doors open at 10, and the game starts at 11:30.
Perfect.
So those are our 2 session days that we have every single week. We did shut down a little bit during COVID, but then, we're back up to going now.
Where do you have these bingo nights?
It's Bingo Planet in Loveland. It's at the Orchard Shopping Center.
Okay.
It's right off of 287, or College, I would say, yeah.
So now let's kind of switch gears here a little bit. I'm going to kind of go back and forth between both of you. Starting with Nancy, how did you get involved in all this? What's your background? What's your story?
Okay, I can be brief, or you might have to cut me off. Basically, I am a retired school teacher from Southeast Florida, and the last day of school, my family, except for my oldest daughter who still lives there, we all moved out here to Fort Collins. My sister Judy, who is how I got into Love Lions, was with us also. Yeah. And she did all the research, so we settled in Fort Collins because I wanted to change life, and I was at the point in my life I could make a change. And so anyway, one of her neighbors in the DMA apartments in Fort Collins off of Remington invited Judy, my sister, to a luncheon. And we were meeting at the Midtown Arts Center at that time. And so Judy went once or twice, and then she invited me to come. And so I went, actually, it was 3 times before I broke down and joined. But so that's how I got involved. And ever since then, it's been going stronger, That was about 7 years ago, I guess.
Okay, wow.
So I have to thank my sister for getting me involved. And
seriously,
I'm so
thank you. That's amazing. Awesome. Now, Doug, what about you? What's your background?
Well, my family came to Fort Collins in 1946 when I was 4 years old, and my father was a small businessman, and he became a member of Lions. I can remember going to Lions picnics when I was like in first grade in Fort Collins and riding the City Park Railroad, and so Lions are definitely in the blood. My mother was involved in back then women weren't allowed in the main Lions Club, and she was part of the Lionesses, and so our family was always deeply involved in that. I grew up in Fort Collins, graduated from CSU in 65, went into the Air Force. I'd gone through ROTC and did 23 years active duty in intelligence in the U.S. Air Force, and retired and then became a civil servant working for the Defense Intelligence Agency in the Pentagon, but stationed full-time in Colorado Springs, involved in creating the intelligence capability for U.S. Space Command. So that was just 2-hour drive from home, but I was involved with that for 33 years. I didn't live in Fort Collins. We came back here just about every year for leave time. Worked really well. We had 4 children. The oldest one is in Arvada. She's an OBGYN, and the oldest son lives across the street from me.
No way, that's really cool.
Our youngest daughter has a bookkeeping business in Fort Collins and has offices in the old post office building in downtown Old Town. And our youngest son lives not too far from Masonville on the 40 acres up in the. So that worked really well.
Yeah.
The kids came back. And I retired altogether in 1999, then came back to Fort Collins, got concerned about what was going on, ended up being mayor of Fort Collins from 2005 to 2011. And when I finished being mayor, the Ensight asked me if I would be on the board, and I said absolutely. They had helped my father when he had wet macular degeneration, which could not be treated back then in 2000, 2001. And they had some helpful reading devices that allowed him to read again. And when he sat down at that, he looked at me and said, "Doug, I feel like I've been let out of jail." So that was an early interaction with Ensight that was so positive for my father. And so I was delighted when I finished being mayor in 2011, term limited out. The Ensight asked me to be on the board, and then I've been the chairman of the board now for 10, coming up 11 years, I think. And again, Lions started Ensight as a standalone nonprofit in coming up to 22 years ago. So I'm delighted to be chairman of the board of Ensight. Ensight is providing a very important service for a lot of people that have low vision problems that have to live with them. And that includes me, and they've helped me.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, Nancy and Doug, is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know about your organizations?
Actually, right after this, I'm going to go to Fort Collins, and we do once a month, the third Thursday, what we call Adult Sight. It's an Adult Sight program, and it's usually based toward the low-income people. But they come, they have a phone number they have to call first and get their time, and then they come and we have just a quick, short interview with them. And then we provide them with a voucher to go to an eye doctor and also to get a pair of eyeglasses. And we charge $5 now. When we did it online the past 2 years, they weren't doing that. And the Murphy Center and the Rescue Mission, we do work with them still online. But otherwise, today's supposed to be a busy day.
Yeah,
so that's why.
That's
but I wanted to mention that because we are known mainly for sight, for vision.
Yeah.
And we collect eyeglasses. A lot of places have our boxes.
Great.
And yeah, we're bringing all of our eyeglasses next week to the meeting, and I've got 8 or 10 cases to
So if somebody has extra eyeglasses, they should definitely stop by.
Find one of the places that has a box, or just call the website or check the website out, our website, Fort Collins Lions, and we can let them know. I think it even lists there where all the places are that have the boxes. It usually has a Fort Collins logo on the front and everything like that. But,
great.
So that was the only thing I wanted to mention was the Adult Sight program.
Yeah, and this Adult Sight program, does this happen monthly or?
It's every third now. Last month was the first in person that we've done in 2 years.
Wow.
And so it's the third Thursday, and they have to make an appointment first with the phone call.
Okay.
And then so we interview 1:30, actually like 2 to 3:30.
Great, and that's in Fort Collins.
That's in Fort Collins at the Methodist Church at Elizabeth and Stover.
Okay.
But the person that gives out the information will give them all the details.
Perfect.
But for $5, I mean, it's a big help.
Yeah.
And my sister also is a patient from Ensight.
No
She
way.
just was also diagnosed, but she has dry macula.
Gotcha.
And actually, it's affecting her pretty seriously.
Yeah.
But she was able to get some good aids that they taught her and different tricks. That's why I wanted to bring Doug today.
Seriously.
That he knew all about that.
Yeah.
He has to give our program in about 2 or 3 weeks that we're having the Ensight annual. It's our annual Ensight review.
No
and
way.
Doug is usually the one that provides that to the Lions Club meeting. Because our meetings usually have a short meeting for us, and then we have a program of some kind.
Yeah,
so that's usually what we do every time we meet, the twice a month that we meet.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. It's been super informative. If our listeners are suffering from vision loss, or I know that you have some other programs, hearing loss, and then you also do like diabetes awareness.
Exactly all the different areas.
Yeah.
The hearing, pediatric cancer, diabetes, and environment besides the vision. But we do other things.
Okay.
Like I said, we just now have a partnership with the Vet Center going on.
Great, right.
It sort of comes under another category, I guess.
Yeah, so if you need help, definitely reach out to the Fort Collins Lions Club. They are doing so much for the community along with Ensight. You can check out their website on how to get involved or volunteer at fortcollinslions.org. You can also check out Ensight's website at ensight.org, and that's Ensight with an E. Again, thank you guys for joining me today. It really was a pleasure.